more vegetables. I can't handle vegetables, to be honest.
Right.
No, can't. Because I react to foods that you probably don't react to.
Yeah. Oh. Thank you for being my social experiment today. I suppose let's talk about a little message on the back as well.
Okay.
First question is,
Yeah.
would you consider yourself generally a fair person?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's important to strive for fairness in society.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to turn this around and just help to give a little bit of context. So just the message, so I know you can read it, but injustice anywhere is better justice everywhere. Have you ever heard that before?
I've heard that or something like it, yeah.
Martin Luther King said that.
Oh, right, okay.
So what do you think that he meant by that?
Well, if we let something go somewhere, could be in our society or somewhere else,
Yeah.
Standards fall, bad things happen. It could spread, could end up happening to you if you don't stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, and I think I agree with that. I think that is part of the message, and obviously it's open to interpretation to some extent, but
Yeah.
I think also it was to say that if you're against one form of injustice, so for example, if you are anti-racist because you think racism is bad, you should also be against the oppression of women as well. It's basically to say, I'm against injustice.
Yeah, I get that,
I think that group should be oppressed, but
Totally,
that's okay for that group to be oppressed. You see what I mean?
That's right, yeah. Absolutely, I agree with that, totally, yeah, totally.
Okay. Brilliant. All right then. So, but do you think it has any difference on oppressed individuals or groups of individuals if they've been? And when I say oppression, by the way, I just need to clarify. I'm sure you know, but oppression means cruel or unjust treatment for a prolonged period. That's the definition.
Okay.
So, do you think that, in terms of oppression, do you think it's okay if it's been done for a long time and it's become sort of embedded in culture, for example?
No, not at all. No.
So, for example, let's give an example. In African countries, female genital, not African, in certain African countries and cultures within, female genital mutilation is considered cultural,
Right.
whereas, people who come to this country, it's been something that's
Sure.
but they say it's okay because we've got a long time, it's part of their culture. Does it make a difference if, I'm not talking about specifically that, I think if something's cultural, do you think that transcends whether something's fair or right?
No, I don't, just because it's cultural, I don't think it's been going on a long time. I don't think it means it's right and it should carry on, definitely not.
Yeah. So you think we should question?
I think there's
culture?
different standards in different parts of the world,
Yeah.
and we can all learn from each other and bring each other up and bring change around. Yeah.
Yes, okay, and do you think we should also question culture or tradition if we don't think that that's actually fair to individuals or groups?
Absolutely, we do think that, yeah.
Okay, right, okay. Would it make a difference if the oppressor said, well, I like doing it, I can do it, would that make it okay?
No.
Why is that?
Well, just because somebody thinks what they're doing is right doesn't make it right. So you have to judge for yourself, don't you, what you think is right or wrong. You might be able to learn more about that particular subject, and you may even change your mind. It obviously depends what it is. You could be in ignorance about it. So there's probably an onus on you to learn more about what's actually happening, and not, with prejudice, make a judgment on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Would it make a difference if certain individuals or groups of individuals oppressed other individuals or groups of individuals and said, well, it gives me what I think is benefits or perceived benefits of that for them? Would that be okay? Would that be fair?
No.
Some of this might sound very difficult.
Well, just because they're benefiting and somebody else is losing out or suffering as a result, it can't be right.
Yeah. All right, then. Where I am going with this is, technically we are animals, humans are animals, and species of animals. Do you think that this sense of fairness, which seems like in terms of your values very much in line with mine, do you think this should also extend to non-human animals as well? Should we treat them fairly, or are they a group of individuals that we can treat differently?
No. extends to animals.
Yeah. So, for example, if you saw someone kicking an animal, doesn't really matter what it is for me, or you can decide if it matters, just in the corner there, would you, if you had three, I think you'd have basically three basic options. You could either join them, you could walk on by and do nothing, or you could try and stop them. As far as is reasonable, if you thought your life was in danger, I think it's fair to say you have to feel compelled to do that. But if you thought you could just by saying something or by intervening in some way, would you choose that option? Which option would you choose of those three?
An intervene.
Yeah. Why is that?
Protect the animal's suffering unnecessarily. It's wrong.
Yeah. Do you think that? So what it seems to me, what you're saying is that animals, non-human animals and human animals, we all have intrinsic value as opposed to just extrinsic value that we put onto other people. So, for example, what I mean by that is, I think you've got intrinsic value because you're an individual and because you have the capacity to feel pain, to suffer. You are motivated towards positive experiences, motivated towards family and friends, and doing what you think is the right thing. And you were just born after you were born, and you don't know choice in the matter. So that's why you've got intrinsic value. But you and me will also place what extrinsic value on our own family and friends. So naturally and understandably, I value my wife more than I do you, because, and it's no disrespect.
None taken.
You know what I'm coming from? I'm trying to make the point.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I can treat you worse than anyone else because you've got intrinsic value. I hope I'm trying to make explain what I mean by those two things.
Yeah.
So where I'm going with this, and it's not trying to be a substitute or anything like that. And where I'm going with it is essentially that I think that all individuals should be able to be free from depression. And if there's no necessity to cause any harm to other individuals in any way, we should always strive to try and just treat them with respect and leave them alone. Allow them to do what they want within certain parameters. Because if they decide to do other things likewise that hurt others, there should be mechanisms in place to stop them from doing that, such as the law. Do you know what I mean? And the law has evolved over time. So, for example, just to give a very extreme example, human slavery used to be legal, didn't it, in many parts of the world? And people, I was talking before about the oppressors got perceived benefits out of that, and they said that they were different. But they had intrinsic value as well, which was completely disregarded. But over time, with certain people saying this isn't right, this isn't fair, they were pushed to enforce ultimately to say, well, that's not right, that's not fair, we need to bring rules to stop that.
So things change.
If things change, and that's how it's translated with individuals. And that's essentially what, isn't it?
It is.
Well, why I'm out here today, why I've come out is because I feel really passionate that we should also treat animals, all animals, in the same way to like intrinsic value.
Totally agree.
So, where I go with this as well is because in our society, unfortunately, it's become very normalised to not treat certain animals like that. Dogs, cats, certainly in the UK, and we consider ourselves animal lovers, don't we? A nation of animal lovers. But I think that's really only to cats, dogs, and a couple of other animals. I think they're mostly pigs, cows, chickens, all these other ones are disregarded. And actually, it's a hidden atrocity of what's going on. People don't actually know what happens and the depths of what actually these animals have gone through as individuals. And you've got to comment on that.
I think that's I think the average person doesn't really appreciate what goes on in farming, producing large scale produce for the general public that we buy in our supermarkets. And I think if the average person, including myself, is closer to what goes on, you might make you think about what you actually choose to buy in supermarkets. Because I'm not a vegetarian, and a meat eater. So I totally sympathise with what you're saying. And I'm sure there's stuff going on that I'm not aware of. If I was aware, it would actually probably change my behaviour.
And that's exactly where I changed.
Right.
I was brought up eating meat, eggs, milk.
Right.
And just by the way, vegetarian milk and eggs are just as potent. In terms of the cruelty in some,
Right.
and arguably even more so
Yeah.
than for meat. Yeah.
Right.
I can tell you a little bit more about that. I don't know how much time we've got. I've also got a card with the resources to give a little bit more, because I don't think we should, if we consider ourselves fair people, turn a blind eye and just choose willful ignorance to important issues. And I think this is one as well. It also extends because, did you know that not the primary focus and motivation for coming out to other people is because of the individual, but animal farming is one of the leading causes of what's happening to loss of biodiversity.
Yeah.
You know, so and all the other impacts of climate change as well, because I'm sure you've heard about this, but it's not as out there in the media as it should be. They tend to, draw attention now to more like sort of oil and things like that, to cars and electric cars and stuff. But actually, the biggest cause of deforestation is animal farming. So people will sometimes say, well, people who are, for example, vegetarians or vegans with soy, oh, you're destroying all the rainforest, but it's not, because most of it, 80% of it, is grown for animal feed. So that's where that's where it comes from. It also is a leading cause of acidification of the air because of the specific gases that are, sorry, my mind's gone a little bit blank, from the cows, from the belching.
The methane.
Methane,
Right,
thank you.
right,
The methane, yeah. And there's nitrous oxide as well from all the manure as well, which is even more potent as well.
Right.
The runoff from, for example, it's something made the news not so long ago about chicken farms going into all our rivers and streams, which are highly polluted.
Right.
It's coming from all these farms as well.
Yeah.
And the point is, Rob, that we don't need it. We don't need. So I've been vegan for 6.5 years now.
Okay.
And again, like I said, the point between vegetarians is a step, but vegan is really what we need to strive for, because vegetarians are a bit contradictory, because it's saying I don't want to eat anything without paying for all the cruelty that's involved in dairy and eggs, because dairy cows are forcibly impregnated. After their 9-month gestation period, a baby is born, a calf is born. The calf's male, which I think we do, because they can't produce milk.
It's slaughtered. Right. Not even for meat, it's just slaughtered, is it?
Just for waste products, consider waste products. Sometimes they ship them abroad, because I don't think we're allowed to, it's not legal for veal here. Sometimes they'll ship them abroad, where they'll be put in a basement, dark, so that all their flesh stays supple for about 4 to 6 months, and then they'll kill them to make them into veal. If the calf is female, whether it's male or female, they will separate them almost immediately, because they don't want them drinking the milk. They want to be able to get the milk to sell it to the consumers.
Right.
But if they're female, then it'd be the same fate as their mothers, so they will forcibly impregnate them every year until their body no longer can readily become pregnant, which is typically around about 5 to 6 years, in which after which they'll kill them. Out to live up to 24 years. They're going to be 5 to 6 years in the dairy industry, because they're not no longer.
So I thought dairy cows kept giving milk and didn't have to get pregnant.
They're mammals.
But I thought so long as they kept milking them, they kept producing milk. That's not the case?
Just like a female human. Wouldn't keep producing milk, would they?
Right.
They need to keep feeding them. And what they do is sorry to be a little bit based, they masturbate a bull to extract the semen, and then they get like a long rod essentially. Put one arm up to anus of the cow, to hold the cervix in place while they get semen into the semen into the ground. To get them pregnant, which I just think it's disgusting. And to drink milk, because we don't need. You don't need milk. It's for babies, and that milk is specifically for cow babies. Do you know what I mean? It's perverse when you actually think about it, but because we've been this social inertia that we think that's what we need. And for example, I use tea, coffee, and oat milk. I think I've tried the different.
I've got intolerance to grains, so I can't have the grains, unfortunately.
Grain. Oh, okay.
Grains,
okay.
yeah.
Try like almond milk.
What's that?
Almond milk.
I've got an insensitivity to nuts as well, to be honest. It's something I'm working on, which is why veganism would probably be quite difficult for me.
Yeah.
I tried veganism once. I ate loads of, I went vegan for a short while. and my anxiety levels went through the roof. I couldn't handle the fibre. I've got a form of IBS. I couldn't handle the beans. So I'm actually I'm not a pure carnivore, but I've been forced to go carnivore. And this is what you want to hear, but for health reasons, because I react to foods that you probably don't react to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I'd love to change that, and I'm working on trying to change it because I want to eat more vegetables.
Yeah.
I can't handle vegetables, to be honest.
Right.
No, can't.
I'm going to give you a little resource in a minute, if that's okay. In fact, I've got the phone to take a photo. This is my last card.
I've got camera with me, phone with me.
Okay. How's your memory?
Not great, but try me.
Oh, right, okay. So this is a card I typically give out, but it's my last one at the moment.
Okay.
Dominion is something on YouTube. You can just search for it.
And that's you, is it?
No. This is a documentary, tin footage, it's narrated by Joaquin Phoenix. You might have heard of him.
Yes, yeah.
So he's on like activist as well.
Dominion.
And that will actually show a lot of what goes on in the whole spectrum of farming of animals. And I'll be completely truthful, I couldn't watch much of that. It was awful. Right. It was so upsetting. So what I did watch though, you can try it.
Yeah.
It'll definitely have an impact on you.
Okay.
And you know, the most important speech you'll ever hear is by someone called Gary Yourofsky.
Okay.
He talks through it all without having to actually hear it.
Right.
You know, and that had a profound impact on me.
Right.
Challenge 22, it's important for you because you're saying you've got certain intolerances.
Yeah.
Sign up for that. So the reason it's called Challenge 22, it might help stick in your brains because it says, apparently there's research that says 22 days, if you can book a trend or a habit 22 days, that is the point where you go through the threshold of, you know, to start new habits. Positive habits, you know what I mean? Yeah. So Challenge 22. Okay. My YouTube channel's called #freedom.
#freedom.
So you can watch the conversation back, and if you would, just give a little like on it. Subscribe, and it helps the algorithm to get it out to more people.
I probably will subscribe. Yeah, I will. Yeah. #freedom. Okay.
It sounds like when we're talking, you know, you really think about it isn't there what we do, and then obviously for me, it's a bit like, oh, when you're saying that, well, mostly carnivores, like, oh,
yeah, I know.
It goes against, you know, all that they're individual, they're born into that body, but we use them. I hear what you're saying. If you're saying it's no other way, but I would strongly suspect there are other ways. But, you know, you're saying struggle with beans, struggle with nuts, you struggle with, like, grains as well.
I've had an intolerance for wheat, a really severe one to wheat for decades. Right. I get extreme anxiety with wheat. And it's the same with the grains, they're not quite as bad. But it's something I'm working on. I'm working on my gut health. So actually, I've gradually been able to eat more foods, slowly coming in, very slowly. So it may change. But veganism was a challenge for me because I did want to do it, but my anxiety levels went through the roof.
What was your motivation for wanting to do it? Was it for what type of thing you talked about?
It was definitely part of it. I thought also for mental well-being and general health.
Yeah. It is generally considered more healthy.
Vegans were saying they just felt great.
You can be an unhealthy vegan.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. A lot of food, unhealthy foods are vegan, aren't they?
Well, there's loads of foods that replicate that the same, like biscuits, cakes, all that. The mock meats I eat not all the time, but I do have that as well. As part of the balanced diet, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you can have all of that. That's the thing nowadays. It's not really, aside from what you're saying, for the general population, there's no excuse to be able to do it. Other than it's the social inertia. People don't think about it. It's all hidden. Different people. I was talking to some guy just before, he's saying he went to work on a chicken farm, and he said he had to walk out with it, you know, because it was so delicious. But most people don't see that. No. You know what I mean? And it's all like happy cows on the packages, happy chickens, this, that, and the other. Yeah. The biggest battle you'll have if you go vegan, I think, is family and friends. Because I expect when I talk to people, family and friends, because, you know, I love them and all the rest of it, and I think that they can share similar values. And when they go, no, don't tell them that. But that's the most difficult thing. Everything else can't be easy. I'm not saying that your situation was that the same, because you say that's in fact things with your intolerances and stuff like that. But I'd really urge to look into it. Obviously, your values are such that they align with. You shouldn't be oppressing, being cruel and unjust.
Yeah, I totally respect where you're coming from, mate, and your motivation to do what you're doing. I totally get it. Totally respect it.
Because the other thing for me is I've got children as well, then
Right.
you have as well, but
Yeah.
the state that we're leaving in the world in as well, when this animal farm is completely unsustainable as well. You know, something called Seaspiracy, which is about what we're doing in terms of decimating the oceans as well, the fish. I noticed in the news recently that they're trying to encourage people to stop having parties with fishy ships because they're depleted. And it's just really rancid what we're doing for unnecessary reasons. It's all hidden for people to make money, and they're using it because of the ignorance of people that they don't not ignorance, not purposeful ignorance, but because it's all hidden away and it's all done in such a way that it's normal, it's necessary, it's what we need to do, and none of it's true. None of it's true. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you this because I'm going to have to go and get off to work.
Right,
We'll do that
okay.
one.
All right, great.
Yeah.
All right.
You promise me you'll have a look at those things, including my YouTube channel.
I will. I'm going to subscribe.
Will you?
I will subscribe.
There's quite a few other. There's about 15 other conversations on at the moment, but I'm still developing it. I'm trying to get out here when I can. This is my latest spot. I used to be down at the front.
Right.
I'm thinking of going like to places like New Brighton and all the stuff like that.
Okay.
Especially because if it starts raining, and then I'm undercover, aren't I? For a bit of tech and stuff.
Yeah.
Really
No, I
nice
will.
to meet you.
I will follow. I will follow
Yeah.
your channel, mate.
Brilliant.
And best of luck with
And
what
if
you're
you
doing.
consider making some of those changes, it'd be really good for not for me, but for the animals, and I think also for the future of our children and other people like that. You know, in terms of what we're doing because of the farming and stuff.
Yeah, the environment is so important. So, totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
Really nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
good to meet you, mate.
All the
We'll
best.
subscribe. Best
Thanks
of
very
luck.
much. Appreciate
See ya.
it. Bye now. Bye.